This is Performance Insight with Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist.
Welcome to Performance Insight. I am Abiola Salami. This show is designed to build models of excellence in the marketplace and in the nation. Whether you're a man or woman, young or old, professional or an entrepreneur, I believe you can be a model of excellence in your industry. As a model of excellence, you are required to deliver high-quality results in your legitimate work. You are required to leverage your competence, character, creativity, courage, and compassion to go above and beyond the call of duty to deliver the best possible results every time. And your results today must be better than your results of yesterday. When you have this understanding and you commit to delivering excellent work based on this understanding, you will generate better results and become exceptional on your team, in your organization, and in your industry. You will have a reputation of excellent performance. That is what it means to be a model of excellence. And we need models of excellence in industries across our continent and in countries across our continent. Over the past 2 decades, I have served leaders in the private, public, and social sectors, and have discovered 5 crucial skills anyone seeking to become a model of excellence in their industry must master. On this season of Performance Insights, we have been looking at one of those skills. It is called emotional intelligence. I've been sharing insights guided by my book, The Magic of Emotional Intelligence, to help you to deliver peak performance. This week, we'll explore the topic, 10 warning signs that a leader's emotional and mental health might be at great risk.
This is Performance Insight with Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist.
Imagine a journey where every setback transforms into insight, where every risk opens a door, and every quiet moment of reflection becomes the foundation of bold action. Imagine an opportunity where you can forge your own trail, illuminate the hidden potential within, and guide others to find their light too. Imagine a time when you can step into your own space, where courage meets curiosity, and every challenge is a chance to grow. At Dr. Abiola Salami International Leadership Bootcamp, DASIL, we believe leadership is not something you were born into. It's something you awaken. It's the spark that grows when you challenge the familiar and step into the unknown. Join us at Livingstone, Zambia in July 2025 for DASIL 5.0 to rescale, reflect, re-strategize, and rejuvenate for peak performance. Contact us on hello@abiolachamp.com or call us on 0909-123-4567 to reserve your seats. Dr. Abiola Salami International Leadership Bootcamp, DASIL, where transformational leadership is reimagined.
This is Performance Insight with Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist.
You don't just want to succeed, you want to lead, you want to rise. You are not just chasing titles, you are building something that lasts. Your vocation is more than a hustle, more than the next milestone, more than late nights and big dreams. For you, it is leadership, not just a business, but of a vision, of a future. You want to grow with purpose, think sharper with clarity, lead deeper with presence, speak better with confidence, move faster with power. The Made for More Accelerator program is here to equip you for the leadership journey ahead. With structured learning on productivity, communication, relationship building, executive presence, and emotional intelligence, we will equip you to be the kind of leader who inspires change, builds wealth, and breaks limits. You will gain opportunities that will stretch you, mentors that will challenge you, and a circle that won't let you play small because you are built for more. At the Made for More Accelerator program, we will equip you to own the room, to inspire your team and build a legacy. It is time to grow into the leader your vision deserves. If you are ready to grow into that leader you know you are meant to be,
visit www.abiolachamp.com/made for more or contact us on 0702-66680, 08 or hello@abiolachamp.com to reserve your seat. Made for More Accelerator Program. Cohort 4 is holding from the 11th to the 15th of August 2025. Made for More Accelerator Program, creating the future today.
This leadership development program is an opportunity for emerging leaders in the public and private sector organization to gain insights that will equip them to drive exponential results in their organization. Now you may be wondering, who is an emerging leader? Emerging leaders are high potential individuals within an organization who demonstrate leadership qualities, initiative, and a drive for growth, even if they don't yet hold formal leadership positions. You need to develop these emerging leaders in your organization to sustain growth and continuity, to drive innovation and new ideas, to increase employee engagement and retention, to build a stronger organizational culture and enhance your business performance. When you don't develop them, you risk leadership collapse and organizational chaos with no capable successors to take charge. This leadership vacuum will breed confusion, fear, and disastrous decision-making, sending your business into a downward spiral. And without fresh leadership, the company becomes outdated, rigid, and completely outpaced by competitors. The market moves forward while your organization stagnates, and your organization will slowly fade into irrelevance before it will ultimately become obsolete. The few high potential employees will eventually abandon ship because there's no career growth for them in the organization. And what do you think you would have left? You would have a disengaged, demotivated workforce drowning in frustration, leading to toxic culture, burnout, and skyrocketing turnover costs. Poor leadership choices will lead to reckless decisions, operational failures, and revenue collapse. The company will lose its market position, investors will move their money away, and your company reputation will crumble until eventually the business ceases to exist. So if you don't want this to be your outcome, you want to register the emerging leaders in your organization for the Made for More Accelerator program. You can visit www.abiolachamp.com or SMS your name and email to 070-2666-8008. I take the number again, 070-2666-8008, and we will share registration details with you.
This is Performance Insight with Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist.
10 warning signs a leader's emotional and mental health might be at great risk. One thing most leaders give little or no attention to is their emotional and mental health. Generally, your state of mind as a leader is directly correlated to the quality of decisions you make. The need to drive peak performance, considering the size of your organization and the complexities of managing internal and external stakeholders, exposes you to a degree of stress that impacts greatly not just on your physical health, but also on your emotional and mental health. Research has shown that leaders who prioritize their mental health demonstrate high levels of emotional intelligence, empathy, and resilience, creating a positive experience for their team members. On the contrary, leaders who neglect their mental well-being may exhibit signs of burnout, stress, and reduced productivity, which can negatively impact team morale and overall organizational performance. In developing countries that are steeped in cultural and religious ideologies, emotional and mental health has not gotten the kind of focus it ought to get. That is still the case of Nigeria and many African countries. While most of the budding conversation focuses on employees' mental health, considering John Maxwell's submission that everything rises and falls on leadership should inspire us to pay attention to the emotional and mental health of leaders. A survey conducted by Deloitte found that 94% of professionals believe it is important for leaders to openly discuss their mental health challenges, indicating that there is need for destigmatizing mental health in leadership positions. Leadership requires a delicate balance between delivering results and promoting a supportive work environment. This week, we'll be looking at some telltale signs that a leader's emotional and mental health has been compromised. Use this as a mirror to check yourself as a leader.
This is Performance Insight with Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist.
One of the ways to know that a leader's emotional and mental health has been compromised is when the leader keeps overcompensating. When the leader tries to mask such condition, to do the most in one or other areas so that it can take attention away from the real issue. The pursuit of results is always welcomed by everyone in an organization, especially a leader. But where it becomes excessive pursuit of results, it might be fueled by some other reasons. For example, working late or overtime happens when deliverables need to be met outside regular working hours. It is an exception, not the norm. But when a leader continuously stays late after the day's work in the office without any urgent project deadline in sight, it could be that this leader is using work as an escape, possibly from some other personal issues. There is a colloquial saying that too much of anything is a disease. In this case, overcompensating with the excessive pursuit of success could be a sign of mental health challenges. One other indicator that a leader's emotional and mental health might have been compromised is when the leader manifests schizophrenic behavior. Everyone has signature temperaments: sanguine, choleric, phlegmatic, and melancholic. In most cases, there is a dominant temperament and recessive temperament. This means that a leader's persona is somewhat predictable based on his or her actions over time. However, mental health challenges bring stress into the equation and literally makes a person act out of character. For example, if a leader is known to be the friendly type or one that gets along rather well with colleagues, one sign of emotional and mental health challenges is that the person might suddenly become feisty. At the touch of a button or at the mention of anything, the person becomes angry. That may be a sign that the person's emotional and mental health has been compromised. This can be followed by an apology and a seeming return to normal behavior, only for the erratic cycle to perpetuate itself. These mood swings are signposts to an underlying mental health challenge, so watch it. Another indicator that a leader's emotional and mental health might have been compromised is when the leader's focus depreciates. Leadership is more strategic than operational. A leader therefore requires a healthy mind to successfully juggle many things almost at the same time. Even when the leader is not multitasking, when there is a mental health challenge, tasks that are ordinarily routine will become labored and Herculean. Since a leader's work is done more with the mind than with the hands, a mentally challenged person will find it difficult to process information and thought with the same scrutiny and intensity as when the leader is healthy. Hence, there is a breakdown between the inputs of the brain and the results the brain churns out. What could be done with ease before then becomes a chore. When anyone finds himself or herself in this situation, it is important to check your emotional and mental health. Another indicator that a leader's emotional and mental health might have been compromised is when the leader becomes more isolated. The idea of a leader being isolated is counterintuitive because leadership means working with people and directing their action towards achieving a specific goal. This means that not only are leaders supposed to be visible and hands-on, but they're also supposed to be in constant communication with their team. When a leader over-delegates, becomes more distant, and unusually silent at critical times, that could be a pointer to emotional and mental health challenges. Isolation doesn't just happen on a physical level. It can also be on an emotional level. In the cartoon depiction of Prince of Egypt, the character Moses was a great leader, and witnessing the people he guided out of slavery constantly complain made him distraught. In his complaint to God, he would say, "I am alone." This was interesting because Moses was hardly ever alone, except for when he climbed on the mountain. He was really saying that he was lonely despite the crowd around him. According to the National Institute of Aging, the health risks of prolonged isolation are equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. When you experience this feeling as a leader, it might be a sign you need emotional and mental intervention, because you can be in a rush crowd and you will feel all alone.
This is Performance Insight with Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist.
Fuel your journey to greatness with vital insights at www.tppafrica.com.
This is Performance Insight with Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist.
Another sign that the emotional and mental health of a leader has been compromised is when the leader's energy begins to dip. Leaders are largely supposed to inspire action by their very example of enthusiasm. Emotional and mental challenges makes people more depressed and heavy-hearted. This inward disposition usually manifests outwardly. A leader who used to be the brightest bulb in the room can turn drab when beset by these challenges. They become more pessimistic and don't see the need to put their best foot forward because they don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. This can also be seen in a longer turnaround time for tasks. They take forever to complete tasks that are basic. Such a leader have lost the zeal for what they do. So if you find yourself in this situation, please get emotional and mental health help. Another classic sign that a leader's emotional and mental health has been compromised is when the leader becomes less tolerant and more irritable. When you see transferred aggression, oftentimes it could be emotional and mental health challenge at play. Frustrations in such a leader's personal life can spill into their professional life. When an irritable leader fights a colleague at work, this leader is really fighting himself or herself. Everyone interacting with this leader will have their share of the internal chaos, as our words and behaviors are the expressions of our internal dialogue. When a leader consistently adopts an irritable method to project their discontent to others, it could be a sign that such leader requires rehabilitation and therapy. Emotional intelligence is how great leaders work alongside people they may not even agree with on certain issues. So when a leader throws all caution to the wind and simply doesn't take cognizance of the implications of their words and action, it may mean that mental health challenge is at play. One other way to know that a leader's emotional and mental health has been compromised is when the leader's speech becomes less coherent. Not every leader is blessed with the gift of the gab. Many leaders are average communicators. They do just enough to get results. Therefore, a repeated pattern of incoherent speech is not really an indictment on a leader's communication prowess. It really speaks to the underlying issue of incoherent thoughts. When a person's mind is troubled, the thoughts that originate from such mind would accordingly be troubled, and this is easily portrayed during the person's speech. One of the things that aids our communication skills are neurotransmitters. The brain cells functions using rapid electrical impulses, a process that anchors human thoughts, behaviors, and understanding of our environment. Just like the conventional electricity, there is a possibility of a short circuit within the brain owing to neurons not being able to work in concert, and this will distort the speech of the individual. So, when there is sudden speech distortion, it is important as a leader that you check. This may be the effect of an emotional and mental health challenge.
This is Performance Insight with Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist.
Are we saying we shouldn't embrace opportunities? We should. But the best of champions are those who prepare before the opportunity comes.
My name is Rabbi Mubarak Udidi.
I have learned a lot so far. There are a lot of impactful knowledge, and I think part of the things that I've learned that strikes me is the fact where Dr. Abiola was saying that growing old is mandatory, but growing up is intentional.
I've also learned that for us, change is not easy to come by, but it's a gradual thing.
All I can say about this training is that the training is truly outstanding, comprehensive, and very easy to understand. And with this training, I know that I'm now a champion.
My name is Raja Yusuf. Most of the things that we discuss here is something that is affect our daily routines, our day-to-day activities.
Your role as a leader is not to be the one to do the work. Your role as a leader is to help them develop their knowledge, skill, and attitude by the task you are giving to them. Because excellence is not a destination. It is continuous progress.
You alone cannot do it. I alone cannot do it. But you and I together will make this back break.
I keep on asking my colleague that this man part of our organization. Not until I was told that he was not even a staff of ours.
Whatever I impact on myself should be loud enough that people will be influenced by it.
I enjoyed the theoretical class for the first time without being dizzy or feeling I need to sleep or tired of the class.
To not let anybody's action affect my reaction.
Wisdom is our template for growth. It is who we want to become.
So also innovative idea and creativity came up. What are we doing in our various jobs to make sure that we maximize the revenue and we minimize the cost of operation in our various branches.
I want to count myself lucky to have attended this program organized by the Champ Group. Honestly speaking, I want to even implore Jai's Bank to make sure our services delivered by Dr. Abiola Champ is available at almost all the times.
Now, you can book Dr. Abiola Salami to facilitate at your next board meeting, management retreat, or monthly performance review. Simply call 0702 666 8008 or email us on hello@abiolachamp.com. This is Performance Insight with Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist.
Another indicator that a leader has challenges with their emotional and mental health is when the leader is enmeshed in addictions and obsessive compulsive behavior. For example, sudden heavy smoking, drinking, or having multiple sexual partners could all be coping mechanisms. Trauma literally changes how the brain operates. This has been scientifically proven. So, obsessive compulsive behaviors are really a response to emotional and mental health challenges. They are examples of looking for solutions but in all the wrong places. Addictions can come in the form of seemingly regular activities like watching television, spending too much time on social media, or even spending too much time shopping. These actions may not be harmful in themselves, but because they are used to fill an inner void, they have a capacity to be abused. In the workplace, when leaders use leisure activities as a substitute for confronting issues, that could be a sign of emotional and mental health challenge. Another indicator that a leader's emotional and mental health is challenged is when the leader tells unprovoked lies and gives more excuses. Emotional and mental health challenges, amongst other things, exposes a person to panic attacks. This makes the person become more anxious than ordinary. Hence, when there is an interrogation by others over their erratic behavior, they deflect by lying or making excuses instead of telling the truth, because stating things as they are only makes them more vulnerable. When a leader finds it hard to give straight answers to simple questions or requests, it may mean that they are hiding something, which is a sign that all is not well. Lies and excuses are tools for avoiding accountability, because if the truth were to be revealed, it could expose beyond a dereliction of duty for a disturbing pattern of thinking that is not consistent with an organization's values.
This is Performance Insight with Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist.
Perhaps the biggest indicator that a leader has emotional and mental health challenges is the leader's physical health. When a leader's physical health is frequently challenged, it's important to pay attention to the person's emotional and mental health as well. Because health is wholesome. So as much as the focus is on mental health, there is a correlation between what goes on in our heads and how our physical body responds to such stimuli. Most depressed people usually physically manifest their emotional state. It's not just in their heads. You see it on their bodies. You see people losing weight. This is why therapy works where certain drugs don't work, because we are more controlled by our unconscious minds than our conscious awareness.
Thank you for joining Performance Insight with Dr. Abiola Salami, a platform curated to build models of excellence for the marketplace and the nation. To watch the full video on today's topic, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and also watch more videos to boost your performance. Just type Dr. Abiola Salami on YouTube. Also, follow us at Abiola Champ on all social media platforms and Dr. Abiola Salami on LinkedIn. The magic of emotional intelligence is available as a virtual course. Visit www.tppafrica.com/academy to sign up. You can book Dr. Abiola Salami to facilitate at your next board meeting, management retreat, or monthly performance review. Simply call 0702-666-8008 or email us on hello@abiolachamp.com.
Join me same time next week as we explore more lessons from my book, The Magic of Emotional Intelligence.
This is Performance Insight with Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist.